but it's just 2 pages.
Oh,
Good evening.
Right. Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's going on?
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Happy New Year.
And listen, we still got on work clothes. You know,
Right.
I'm like, girl, I'm sweating.
Well, you know, I kind of...
And listen, dear God.
I'm here.
Poor. I'm black.
I may be poor. No, I'm poor. I'm black. I may be...
but dear God.
I'm here.
Listen, so... Happy New Year. Happy 2020.
2020, yes.
I know, right? We are entering the 3rd decade. Remember when it was 1999 and the girls was like, what's going to happen? At midnight, is the whole world going to fall apart?
No.
Bitch, what the fuck is going to happen?
But,
are we all going to die? And then everybody was sitting there like...
Year 2K.
5, 4, 3, 2...
You had bottles of water. You had extra storage batteries. You had everything going on because you didn't know what was going on. And I was like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Right. You know,
but wait a minute.
Absolutely nothing happened.
But wait a minute. I got one for you. Mm-hmm. If you were born in 1970,
yes,
you are now going through 5 decades, 2 centuries.
Mm-hmm. 2 centuries, yes. We are the, what is this, Vince Miller. We are the Vince Miller of life. Yeah, so,
anyway.
Welcome to the BGKH Show. This is episode 77. Did I also mention that this is our 2-year anniversary?
Bitch, that's right, it is.
Anniversary. Come on. Do you know what today is?
It's our anniversary. Ow.
Anniversary. All right. Right.
Okay. So, it's been 2 years. It's been 77 episodes, approximately, because we have like some other, yeah. But you know, 77 episodes.
Episodes over 2 years.
That is amazing.
It's been fun.
It is, you know what? It is absolutely, so listen, it has absolutely been fun. It's been cathartic.
Yes.
It's been... it's just been good to like look forward to like some things.
At some point, you know, I was like, after like 10 episodes, I was like, bitch, we still want to keep doing this? Like,
this is tiring.
There was
I'm tired.
I just want to go to bed. I just want to stay home.
Listen,
please, Jesus.
It was a lot, but you know what? It was all fun. And by the time,
even when I was like not wanting to be with people,
I get it.
I was like, all right, this will be all right. So 77 episodes.
Listen,
yes.
By the time you got yourself together and you got yourself here into the studio, and then we had conversation with you guys, it was amazing. And so I'm here for it.
So who's joined us? We've got Indigo and Trey and Mac. Thanks,
hey, Mac.
Happy anniversary. Oh,
happy anniversary. And Mac has a...
Did you
I didn't see it yet.
That the Mac Pack has their own Mac Cast?
Listen.
Come on, YouTube, Mac Cast. All right. Everybody, listen, we started a trend. You know, everybody got their own little show. Thank you. Good for you. Good for you and your little show.
I haven't checked it out yet, though.
That's so shady.
Wait a minute.
I heard you got your little show on YouTube. That's cute.
We haven't checked it out yet, but we will check out the little show sometime in between episodes.
Right. You know,
we have 70-something to
you
know, to edit and review the tape. We gotta, you know, we'll get there eventually. But we love you.
You know what? I'm sure
we love you.
Absolutely love you.
We love you. We love you. Yes, we do. So
how was your how did your year end?
So I'm gonna try to stay as positive. I'm
gonna get positive energy except for a minute.
Okay, bitch.
It's gonna be very positive.
No. I'm talking about the positive energy. Listen, I'm on it. Okay. Anyway, so we'll come back to that. All right. So my year ended on a great note. First of all, I was able to see another year. Thank God for that. I have had tons of struggles, but that have been personal, that have been financial, that have been I don't want to say romantic. Well, maybe romantic relationship wise or whatever. Right. I've had family drama, which is still ongoing.
Listen,
I've had health issues.
You're better bitch than me because listen, you know I'm good for writing hoes off.
Well, you listen. Let me just say this: in 2020, on this first show of 2020, I absolutely love and adore my family. At one point, I used to say
I like them less than you do.
At one
going down,
but wait a minute,
girl, that's cause for.
So hear me out.
Dear
at one
Uncle
point,
so and so, I will never fucks with you again.
But let me. You need to hear what I got to say first.
Okay, sorry.
So I loves my family to death. House and ever. At one point, I used to say I like them, and I genuinely wanted to be around them.
Right.
Not so much. Love them. Don't really like a lot of them that much. There are a lot of things that for me that have happened that not because people were silent, it showed me that they were complicit, and that annoyed me, and I absolutely am not a fan of that. So on this January the 8th, 2020, this new year, let me be clear. My grandmother is 96 years of age.
Yes.
And I am not by no means wishing her out of this world. But what I'm going to tell you is there is a very good chance that she may not be around for another 96 years.
Yeah.
And in that instance, when I have to go to that event, that is the end of the relationship with those that I am attached to genetically. And that's it. And I'm not even, and listen, I want to be clear. I am not mad. I don't dislike anyone. I still have love for you, but that's just where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So that's how I'm ending my 2019 and starting off 2020. My holidays were great. They were very quiet. I watched A Christmas Story for, 3, 4, 5 times that day.
I don't get why people feel like,
oh my God.
Why do people, first of all, I've never seen it because it just never looked interesting to me.
So,
and certainly not watching it 5 times in a row.
Let me just tell you.
I love the shit out of Color Purple, but I would not watch The Color Purple sorry.
So listen,
5 times in a row.
Listen, we are men of a certain age, and I know good and damn well you remember those red pajamas with the plastic footies on.
I've never seen the movie, so
no. But you remember those red pajamas with the little white plastic footies.
Yes, I remember those.
The fact that I didn't like those things because my feet were in them, and I was always slipping and sliding. That's one thing. I remember Christmas always being a hassle because you were doing all this preparation, and I remember my grandmother, my mother, my father, everybody all upset about everything. And there's one thing that you look forward to that is just annoying. You get to see the aunts and the uncles and the family and the stuff that you don't talk about that makes it fun, but it makes it a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And then the shit that happens on Christmas that you have no control over, and you sit back and say, damn, this is supposed to be a great Christmas, but this is kind of a fucked up Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's from that perspective, and that's why I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And even little kids, the relationship with the Richie, is it Richie or Mikey? Richie.
The little blonde kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
The relationship with his friends outside. Stuff like going outside, sticking your tongue on the pole and getting into a fight. But again, that is say I did that, but we all know somebody that was stupid enough to do that.
Oh, I definitely know people who's done.
Or you had the bully in the neighborhood that one kid that when they finally got enough strength and courage to whoop their ass and they couldn't stop crying and everything else, having your mouth washed off with soap and all that, just all types of nonsense.
Yeah.
That is what it brings. It's very nostalgic for me. So there's a lot of stuff that's nostalgic, and that's why I watch it so many times. But to end my day, we had a very lovely 6-hour dinner at Del Frisco's.
I know that was like, can y'all leave, please?
We were just, and listen, we were sitting there just chilling.
You know how we do. We got there at fucking 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Actually, we got there early. So we got there like 3:45 for a 4 o'clock reservation. We went upstairs with our favorite Ukrainian waiter, Umar.
Hey, Umar.
Hey, Umar.
How you doing,
Hey,
Umar?
how you doing?
How you doing, Umar?
I think Umar is, I think he's might be family.
So I'm Umar. Come on down to MAL. That's what I want you to do.
Right. If we see him in the crowd, we were like, hey.
And listen, there's a new person starting my job today. He came downstairs and I was like, first of all, those pants are a little high, but they are on that high booty and that big chest. Hey, nice to meet you.
Right.
Hopefully I'll see you at MAL. Okay.
Right.
But all right. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so we got there, and you know how we do. You know how we shut the girl down. So we ate. And then we finished eating, and we kept, we just sat there,
just sat there and
talked.
just
And then I was like, you know what? We are holding up these people's tables, so let's at least order some more drinks. And let me tell you how nice these people are at Del Frisco's.
Very nice.
I was like, we taking up your table and everything. We were about to order some more drinks, and then we were finally ready to leave.
Yeah.
We were like, can we get the bill for these? Because we had paid.
Yeah.
We had paid. He had collected. There was nothing on our table except the new drinks and water glasses. And he was like, oh, no, it's on the house. So we had another round, like $100 worth of extra drinks that they gave us. And I'm not suggesting that they will do that all the time, but to me that's like good customer service. It was very
like, and then the manager came over.
Like when that's good customer service. Like when people that come all the time and they spend money and
Hey Chameleon, oh my God, Happy New Year.
Occasionally, they'll give you a little something. So it's not like I'm looking for something for free, but it was a nice sentiment.
Oh, absolutely.
And the food remains delicious. Listen, if you go on Open Table, like some of the people talk about the waiters were rude. I was like, well, how rude? Here's the question.
What is rude to you?
If the waiter was rude, what did you do?
Yeah, because I don't.
Because I've never seen, not just our waiter, but I've never had, even before we started hanging out with Umar, I've never had bad service there. Everyone, to a fault, has been polite and friendly and bantering back and forth with their customers, probably like they have it in training. They're like, this is how you engage with the client, with the customers or whatever. And some people talked about the food wasn't that good. I was like, I don't know what you were talking about. So I will say that some people said the steaks were a little salty, and I can get that. I think it's perfectly seasoned, but I can get that other people might think it's a little over seasoned.
So let me tell you that the first time I was there, I had the filet mignon.
The filet mignon?
The filet mignon, when I tell you that filet was absolutely, I wanted it medium and I felt like it was overdone because it was like, but as I sliced into it and it's sliced like butter. Oy vey, like butter.
Yes.
Oh,
and it wasn't good.
It was so good. Like I was grumpy because
like,
again,
you have never had an overdone steak that fucked up so bad.
And listen, I have this for whatever reason. I have this aura about me that my order's always fucked up at a restaurant. I don't know what it is. I try to be clear.
To tell you the story about the Olive Garden.
Yeah, to say this is what I want, this is how I want it, and this is what it is, and that's like I try to be clear with that. But for whatever reason, and part of the course, the first time I dealt Frisco's, everything was great except for my steak. It was overcooked. However, it was the best goddamn steak ever. Now, this time when I went, I didn't order the filet mignon. I ordered the T-bone. Was it the T-bone or was it the porterhouse? Or was it prime rib? I think it was prime rib.
It was the prime rib.
Prime rib. And the prime rib was good because it was medium, it was pink, but it wasn't as flavorful as the filet mignon. So I already know, going back, I'm going to get the filet mignon. So but everything else was good. The truffles and all that stuff.
The truffle.
The lobster mac and cheese.
The truffle potatoes.
And they were excellent.
But every time I go somewhere and people are like, oh, you should try the ribeye. The ribeye is delicious. I have never had a ribeye that I considered like they've all been. There's been a couple that are terrible, but none of them have been like life. Like some people just think that's a good cut of meat. I don't usually enjoy it because I like a little pink. Whereas I'm fine with a fair amount of pink, but sometimes, girl, this is raw practically, and so I'm out.
Yeah, but yeah, other than that, everything was great. Hey, Felix. Everything was absolutely...
Oh my God! Hey, Felix.
Right.
and thank you for rejoining the human race, Carl. We've 7. We really do appreciate that.
Yeah. Everything was great. So for you? How did 2019 end?
2019 ended beautifully because I had a small circle of friends over to the house for New Year's Eve, and we had a circle where we all hold hands and say what we were thankful for. And there were some new friends, some relations that have deepened over the year that I invited to. And they, people called me and were like, you know what? It was like the best New Year's Eve ever because it wasn't 1,000 people standing around, people that you didn't know. We certainly kikied and cut up, and we had champagne, and we had cocktails, and we had that bomb-ass cider.
So, let me be clear. That cider was actually fucking good.
Thank you.
And let me, it's not that it was never good, but it was really fucking good.
You know what? Because I didn't put quite as much alcohol in it, and I increased the proportion of butter shots in proportion to the other liquor, so it tasted sort of like an alcoholic caramel apple.
It was really good, and I did something a little bit different than I normally do because I normally spend the time there, but I wound up going to another location afterwards. But I knew that I was already going there, and I appreciate being there, so I look forward to that every year. So thank you.
So that ended beautifully. There was some tears and there was some tears.
Yeah.
But listen, That's what it's about. You know,
Right.
everybody here doesn't turn out beautifully or perfectly or the way that you planned or whatever. And it was a safe space for those tears to flow. And then the person who did it was like apologizing. Like, oh, what are you apologizing for?
There's no need to,
This is a safe space. If you needed to let that out, you needed to let that out. So you did. So hopefully you can do your best not to carry that into the new year, because I don't necessarily believe in making resolutions, but what I do believe is taking stock and saying, how do I want to do better at what I'm living in my life? So I ain't gonna make no goal like, you know, I'm gonna go to the gym every day or, you know, whatever, or that I'm going to lose exactly 20 pounds, you know, by some date. But I am going to make goals to be more healthy. And what are all of the ways that I can do that? I am going to make commitments to be more financially responsible. And what are all the ways that I can do that?
Okay. Yeah.
So, listeners of the show will recall that there was an incident about which I talked in round terms in, what was that, October? October-ish, yes. Because they were watching the show that day. Remember? And then it happened. It all jumped off after that. And I talked about how I was quite pissed off about the way that all went down. Well, that had been simmering on my spirit.
Oh, Lord.
All this time. It had just been sitting right here on the top of my spirit. Then something else happened today. Because, and listen, I'm not going to go into details on what happened. But there were some accusations made about me back in October, then some further, and those accusations were never answered. And then that's why I write silence equal complicit, which is what you said. And I felt unsupported by a number of people because no one jumped into the fray and said, that's not the Dominion that I know. All of those things that you said, that is not, because that's how I would have done it. Like if someone had said, oh, this is Epic. And, you know, let me tell you, Epic is this awful person. He did all of these things to me. He ruined my life or whatever. I'd have been like, that is not the Epic that I know. And I was not expecting that from everybody. I was expecting that from people that I've considered longtime friends. And I also would have expected that they would have had my back in a little bit way that they did. Well, one of those people today basically accused me of some shit. And I had a moment this morning. I had what is commonly known as a dramatic breakdown for about 20 to 30 minutes this morning.
I'm mad that you are categorizing it as a dramatic breakdown.
Well, because, you know, I lived through comedy.
But I am here with you. I'm understanding that. I'm just...
Right. And, you know, because I needed to get those words out and, you know, express my feelings about how I had been treated and how I had been characterized. And then the person who wrote that tried to backpedal. Now, first of all, he said what he said publicly. Then he tried to backpedal privately. That one of the things that is, you know, as a result of all of those things that happened last October is that Dominion is going to give you the same energy that you give me. And while people tend to think that I'm, you know, this sort of loud person, and I am, I'm not embarrassed to say that I have an opinion or whatever. But as a rule, I don't set out to hurt people's feelings, and I tend not to say things even when people hurt my feelings. No. From now on, you are going to get the exact same energy that you gave me. And so when he tried to apologize, I was like, girl, your apology is not accepted. Your apology is not accepted. We are no longer friends, effective immediately. Now, what that means is that because we are in the same organization, we will see each other from time to time, and I will keep it cute with you. But let's be clear. Sometimes events are held at my house. You need to find someplace else to be, because you are not welcome under my roof for any circumstances. I told him I blocked him on Facebook. I unfriended him on Twitter. And after we had this last bit of conversation, I was blocking him via text and by email. So, it's about energy. This whole community is about exchange of energies. So, If you give me some negativity and some bullshit, instead of me trying to be the polite person and not, want to stir and give rah-rah, you're going to get the exact same foolishness back. Not foolishness. Well, I'm not going to descend into... Like, if you call me a bitch and you start saying all this other shit, I'm not necessarily going to respond to you like that, but you're going to get a reflection of the energy back. And, I
listen,
cut you with some words if I need to.
Listen.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is foolishness.
Yes.
Because it is...
Hypocritical.
Yes. Hypocritical. It was unsolicited. And... Unnecessary. And I think my biggest issue...
Love you too, Ronald. Hey, boo.
I think my biggest issue with
that's Ronald Matters of the famous Ronald Matters blog.
Hey, Ronald. You matter.
Hey, you matter to us.
You matter, Ronald. I think I'm just I'm so anti-public stuff, especially when you have a relationship, or at least I think you should have a relationship outside of the public. Listen, I absolutely love to be out here with the kids and, kiki with, listen, I'm here for you and I'm here for the shits.
Right.
And I can go along with the best of it. But I try my damnedest not to do the malicious stuff. And if I have a problem with someone, I generally don't like to do the stuff in the public. And I think that's the part for me that's stuck in my craw. It's not what was done, because I feel like you can actually have a conversation with someone and kind of tell them how you feel about something.
Yeah.
Now, whether you're judging them or whatever, like that's just you to you and you from one to another. But when you put it in blast on the public, like that just takes it to another level. And I feel like Facebook is fun. Yes. And it's public and it's free and it's all whatever. It's whatever you want to be on that little frame, that little camera, that little screen, in that little virtual world.
Right.
If I don't fuck with you, like have conversation with you, consider you a friend, call you, I got your number on my phone, we text or something, we see each other pretty regularly and like talk, like I don't necessarily know why we need to, like, I mean, we got to call each other out in public? And if I do have your number like that, then listen, guess what? I need to have a conversation with you real quick.
Right.
That's it. That's all. Because I don't want to do that. But everybody's different, and I get it.
And, another thing that annoyed me, this is the last thing I'll say on it, and I've had this happen to me a lot, and I'm not the only person. This is not an exclusive thing to me. But people, and I've mentioned this before, people seem to think that they can say whatever the fuck that they want, and then be like, oh, I didn't really mean it like that.
No, you meant it.
I'm sorry. No, girl,
you meant
consider your fucking words before you say them.
Yeah, you meant
because, listen, have we all occasionally been like, oh, girl, I didn't mean to say that. But then the sincerity is when, you try your damnedest not to do it again. But if you have a pattern of constantly saying and doing sort of, shit that is either self-centered or not considerate of other people's feelings, and then you expect everybody else to have forgiveness, I ain't giving that either. You say some fucked up shit, you get fucked up shit back. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of foolishness over Facebook.
Yes.
So
I can't even quite figure. This story has been popping up in our Facebook timelines. Just because it's leather community and leather kink and fetish related, and also this particular incident, there are people that we know. So that whole 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, this is literally and figuratively a Kevin Bacon.
Literally is Kevin Bacon.
And this story,
I thought was funny at first. I thought it was funny at first when I just saw his name, but then because I hadn't read the story.
Right.
But then when I read the story, I was like, ooh, this is
and
funny at all.
The actual Kevin Bacon kind of did a tweet about that as well. But anyway, so the story.
Hairstylist Kevin Bacon, who was 25. Vanished on Christmas Eve after telling his roommates he had met someone on Grindr. He was reported missing by his family when he didn't turn up for breakfast on Christmas Day.
And hold on one second. Mm-hmm. And I want you guys to call in on this because we want to take your calls and we want to have some conversation about this. I sent the information out and I put the information out on Facebook. So please call if you have a comment once we go through this article. But it's 240-719-2560. One more again, that's 240-719-2560. call in with your comments on this because I want to hear some of your comments and what your take is on this. But I'm sorry, continue.
Right. So then, following a tip-off, the police arrived at the home of 50-year-old Mark Latunsky on December 28th, who admitted that he killed Bacon. Quote, Mr. Latunsky stated that he used a knife, stabbed him in the back one time, then slit his throat. Afterwards, Mr. Latunsky said he wrapped rope around the ankles of Mr. Bacon and hung him from the rafters on the ceiling. According to court documents, Latunsky admitted using the knife to cut off Bacon's testicles and eat them. So now, just a month prior, the police have been called to Latunsky's home after another incident. In that incident, neighbors told police that he encountered a man pounding on his front door, covered in blood, and screaming hysterically. I'm not going to get into some of this kink-shaming part, but anyway, this guy had been being held by Latunsky and escaped, but he declined to press charges.
Right. And with the original part of this story, the perpetrator or the alleged perpetrator,
yes.
Latunsky, was expected to be in court actually today.
Yes.
So I haven't heard anything about what the
there was something that he's going to be allowed to plead insanity, which like
yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And also the fucked up. So the part of it that is the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is that Latunsky was, I don't know how well known he was, but he was part of the Michigan leather community. Mm-hmm. So there are quite a few people who know Mr. Latunsky and his partner, and it's just a whole mess. So what I'd like to talk about is ways to protect yourself if you're going to go. The first one that I'll say is, if you're going to go over to someone's house, always let someone know where you're going.
Listen. I used to have, so in the 90s when I was, young and dumber, young and dumb. Mm-hmm. I'll say young and dumber because I think even at almost 50, I don't know everything, but I know enough. But again, it was a thing where literally my very close circle of friends, they knew everything about who it was that I was going to hang out with. Mm-hmm. If they came by the house, I was like, here, have something to drink. Take that glass, put it in the kitchen, make sure don't nobody wash it because there's a fingerprint on it. Like, we literally were doing that type of shit because that's how tight we were amongst ourselves. Mm-hmm. So even the 3, 4 o'clock in the morning phone call, at that particular point in time, it was AOL in the chat rooms. It was like, bitch, this is this information. This is the address, this is the telephone number, this is the name, this is the screen name, every damn thing. Like, we were exchanging that information before people left. Mm-hmm. So we knew that from the door. So my circle of friends, that's what we do. That's how we operate. Yeah.
And, so they have a check-in.
Yes.
Now, while they could kill you in the first hour.
That absolutely true.
But, arrange that, I'm supposed to meet this person at 8 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, that person is supposed to call you, and no matter what you're doing, no matter how good it feels, no matter whatever, answer that call.
Yes.
And say, I'm cool. So, and if you were supposed to leave by 10:30, at 10:30, your friend is supposed to call you, and you're supposed to answer that call and be like, yes, I'm home, or I'm staying. And then they need to continue to check on you. And I know that seems like overkill, but
listen, case in point, this is the reason why.
Now he did. Now, to be clear, he did have a buddy. The buddy called him after an hour, and Mr. Bacon, the deceased, told his buddy, "We're having a good time. I think I'm going to stay the night." And then that is the next to the last communication, because later on in the night, there was a text communication. Well, we don't know if he was already dead by then. The dude could have had his phone or whatever by then. That's why it's important to develop these rituals. And I'm not expert on this, but there are resources online that you can find that talk about how to protect yourself in an age of internet dating. Yeah, most of the people you're going to meet are going to be fine, but there are more than a few people out there with I don't want to say more than a few. There are a few people out there with nefarious intent.
Yeah, a lot of them. Screenshots, pictures of people sending Listen, if you see their driver's license, first of all, one of the things that this is my crew. This is what we do, or what we did. Well, I can't say what we did because what we do, because I still, by the time I walk in somebody's house, I know where their lease is and I know where they're. So anyway.
Listen, take a picture of some shit with their name. Name on it.
Mail, driver's license, wallets. I go.
This is Raheem Jones.
Right,
He lives
I send
at
this stuff off.
2345 Main Street.
We have conversations. I've even put people on the phone while I'm in the background. And I'm like repeating what they're saying in my phone. So listen, there are ways to have these conversations. But the ultimate thing is, you really should not. If you feel something is just not right, like if your spidey senses are tingling, if your first mind is telling you absolutely no, baby, don't do it. And that is there for a reason. And again, when I was talking about Dumb and Dumber and learning more, sometimes I still don't listen to my first mind. And I know good and goddamn well I need to listen to my first mind. And I get burnt in the end. Yes. So listen, that piece of how you feel, definitely, pay attention to that. Definitely listen to what you're feeling. Listen to how you're feeling. Listen to what your body's trying to tell you. Yeah.
So this story actually made me feel good that the Duke and Duchess of of Sussex announced that they are going to, after many months of reflection, we intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. Let's just be clear. She was an actress. Yes. So she good.
Yes, she's
good. He the one that don't have no job. I mean, right. He was in the military. He was in the military, but let's just be clear. This is not the Middle Ages where the second son of the king has to actually go out and be like a military commander and has to like build a whole life in the military. So Harry ain't exactly getting ready to go into the Royal Canadian Navy and go and end up being an admiral or some shit.
What is he gonna put on his resume? What is he gonna put on his resume? What is he gonna put on his job application? Prince. That's my. Well, Prince died, but I mean,
we're being facetious. Because he does have connections. He certainly could like open a foundation. There's going to be people that want to be associated with him just because of his association with the royal family. And
he could Kardashian his way on into.
They almost certainly are not going to be hurting for money, but it was clear to me because I'm for whatever weird reason, I've always been into the royal family. I'm not like into it. Like I don't have a Princess Diana like commemorative plate or nothing like that. So I'm not into it. But I did watch her wedding. I mean, I was like 10 at the time. I did watch Kate and William's wedding. I didn't watch this wedding. So I'm into it a little bit, but enough to be like, damn it. I just remember thinking very recently that they're never going to let this woman have any sort of rest.
Listen.
Because, even though she is lighter than some of the most light-skinned people I know, she could be black as both of us. She could be 10 shades darker than both of us for the way that, some white people
are viewing her and talking about her.
And so she's never... I was like, you know what? This could really fuck up their relationship. Because, because I know I would be one day, I'd be like, you know what? My life was so much better.
Fuck you and this motherfucking...
Right. I'm taking Archie. I'm going back with my mother, Dora Ragland. I'm going back to L.A. I'm going back on Suits.
Archie is going to grow up in Compton. That's what he's going to do.
Right. I get scripts all the fucking time. Listen, I got a career. I don't listen. She could be like, listen, I really do not need this foolishness. Serena Williams is my best friend.
Right, I forgot about that.
Listen, I'm friends with Jennifer Lopez. Bitch.
Yeah,
I got connections.
Like what?
I don't need this shit.
And wasn't she a Lifetime movie? Wasn't she one of the Lifetime movie part of the stable of Lifetime movie women?
Yeah, I never watched it.
So I think she.
I had honestly never heard of her before she got involved with the Prince because I didn't watch Suits.
I think she's one of those.
But my
Lifetime
empathy was just like, wow, she is never going to have a normal life, and she can't even be like Princess Diana where she could settle into the thing because forever. Again, she will always be the Black Princess, despite the fact that she is lighter than this page.
Pretty much.
You know, every time her mother show up, they're gonna be like, "That's right, she is." Even people that's nice to her gonna be like, "Her mother gonna show up at a function like the queen is gonna have."
Oh my God, she's so nice.
That's right, and then be like, "Oh, that's right, you are black."
And that's her mother.
Right. So I'm glad for them because.
Or they'll say this. Well, she's only half black.
Right. Well, you know, so she's only half savage.
It's like
listen, you know how them British people are. Listen. I got some British friends, and maybe some of you British people watching this, but you know how they do.
But speaking of that, there are some things that I was able to take advantage of over the Christmas holiday, the Christmas break, and Netflix is one of them. So a couple of shows that I watched, or movie shows, or I'm sorry, series that came on.
Tyra said he gave up the crown for her Christmas cookies. Meanwhile, we got jokers out here who can't pump gas. Yeah.
You know what, Tyra? This is why you're one of my favorites. That's exactly why you're one of my favorites.
True.
But so we had some. Well,
she said she got low-key Ebola, so yes, please drink your soup and your hot toddy. So,
yeah, girl. Keep that
Ebola over there.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that. There's a couple things coming up in the next couple weeks. There's a couple other series that came out on Netflix, and I was getting into them. Some of them were English. Well,
you know, it was only recently that I discovered that Henry Cavill was British. Because I've never heard him speak before. Every time I see him, I'm just like, Jesus.
And speaking of him,
a beautiful man.
He is in this.
Never heard
but
him
he's
speak
in the
before.
series The Witcher. He's the main character.
I know that.
Like it took me forever to figure out who the hell he was. I kept looking at him like, who is this man?
All you got to do is see that chest hair.
But he's so goddamn big. I was like, what the hell?
He apparently worked out even more than he did.
He is like a brick, a brick wall. And the series, I'm only like 3 episodes in. It's kind of, I can't really. Maybe it's just me. Y'all help me out because I can't really follow. It seems like they're individual little stories and they're going to probably relate to something, but I just can't follow it right now. But it's available and it seems to be picking up traction.
Okay.
My favorite though, Netflix has a new series. Because listen, I love everything Dracula and werewolf and everything else. I am here for it. There's
too scary.
There's not a Dracula or werewolf movie that I probably have not seen. But this Dracula right here on Netflix, it's a 3 episode series. And each episode is 120 minutes. So basically, it really could be at least 1 or 2 episodes, maybe even 3 episodes. But for these 3 hours, baby, it's based off of Bram Stoker's Dracula as far as the book itself. But it goes into a different route. Goes into a little bit of a different route. It starts off with the husband of Mina. I'm sorry, the fiance of Mina, Jonathan Harker, who is in an insane asylum, and he is being interrogated by this nun, who we come to find out is actually
like a Dracula hunter.
She's a Van Helsing. She's a Van Helsing.
Okay, got it.
And so, but her mouth, listen,
I'm gonna put that on my list.
her mouth, she is so like, focus. So I recommend it to anybody to watch this. I definitely say, and like I said, it's an hour and 20 minutes for each episode. So definitely take a look at it. It's really good. Lost in Space 2. I've heard a lot of people talk about that on Netflix and how they have finally gotten into the meat of the story. They've answered some other questions from
because I watched like 3 or 4 episodes of the first season, and I was just like,
I couldn't get past even after they found the robot. I was like, well, I don't really. But okay.
Yeah.
There are a few other things that's coming up on Netflix as well, and I just wanted to mention these. There's a movie coming out about Madam C.J. Walker called Self-Made, inspired by life of Madam C.J. Walker. Octavia Spencer is playing that on March 20th. Ryan Murphy has 2 series that's coming on Netflix. One is called Hollywood, and the other one is actually called Ratchet. Now, Hollywood is supposed to be a love letter to the golden age of Hollywood. Whatever that is, that's how it was listed. But Ratchet is supposed to be the origin story of the eponymous and evil Nurse Ratchet. So I'm here for that. Like, I'm trying to watch that. And I love Ryan Murphy. And Sarah Paulson is actually playing in this particular series. Shonda Rhimes has a series, Bridgerton. It's a hoity-toity period drama with all the juicy trappings of a nighttime soap.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes. There's Selena the series, which I don't necessarily know
what
that's going to be, because we already know what the outcome is, and so
Right. So where are we going to go with this?
Then there's also another show that they're having, or that's coming out this year, called Never Have I Ever by Mindy Kaling.
Yes.
And it's about the complicated life of a modern day first generation Indian American teenage girl. So I figured that might be very interesting because I like Mindy's comedy as well, even on The Office, which is another thing that I've actually been watching. The first season, The Office.
Oh yeah, I never
but
got into it.
It's kind of dry.
Yeah.
Kind of dry.
So there's a couple other things. So because pro tip, if you have Verizon, I think it's Verizon Unlimited.
Go ahead, listen.
It's you can get a year of Disney Plus for free.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah. So I have been catching up on all of Star Wars Rebels. In I think as soon as February, actually, there's going to be a new season of Star Wars Clone Wars. And also through the Slave, I got a chance to
Hey, Slave.
the DC Universe app.
Oh,
And
so
Harley Quinn, that show is funny.
this is an animated series?
It's an animated series. The animated Harley Quinn series.
Okay.
Hilarious.
Well, Harley is my girl anyway. I like her. She's a little crazy.
It's like, that's like, I thought you were the one that was telling me about it. Or there was someone else. They called Wonder Woman a cunt.
Oh my God! No!
That's because Wonder Woman is a cunt.
Oh my God! That is amazing that they call Wonder Woman a cunt. Yeah. Not near one of the bitches can beat her, but okay, whatever.
Right. It's just hilarious. The two main characters are Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, and the show is mainly about her trying to establish herself as an independent woman separate from the Joker, because her whole existence in the Gotham crime underworld and in the Legion of Doom is really through Joker, and she wants to be known as a power in her own right. So it's like vaguely about female empowerment and everything, but it's told through the lens of these super comic villains and all that.
All right.
So it's funny.
All right.
Let me see what else is coming out. So next week on the 20th, I think it is, Picard comes out. The next Star Trek series comes out, and it's got all of the people coming back. Riker and Troy are back. I think it's an older married couple. 7 of 9 is back. She looks like a normal person now. She's not there in this sexy skin tight outfit, which I think was entirely inappropriate for service on a starship. But sure, whatever. Apparently Picard has a son, and the speculation is that that's the child that he had with the Borg Queen.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and if you ever remember not Deep Space Nine, Voyager. Did you ever watch Deep Space?
So I didn't watch the series. I watched the movies, and I think from all the people around me that like Star Trek, they kind of said stuff. But I am not at this particular point to really go down that road of getting into all.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Because
if you did, then you'll remember Hugh, who was the Borg who got out of the collective. Well, Hugh's also back too.
Oh.
So yeah, and of course Geordi and Data.
I remember who that is. Who Hugh is. I remember him.
Yeah. So they're so it's like they're getting the band back together. So that's going to be nice. My show, The Expanse, is back on Amazon Prime.
That's the one that Jeff Bezos.
It was on Sci-Fi, and they decided that they didn't want to carry the show anymore, and so Jeff Bezos bought the show.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, it was good. Oh, we also you didn't come with us. We went to see the last Star Wars movie
with the damn young Yoda or the young. What's his name?
No. That's The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
That's a TV show.
Okay.
With the baby alien. They're calling him Baby Yoda, but there's no indication that there's no indication so far that he's actually related to Yoda at all, but they're clearly the same species.
Okay. But he's funny. He's cute though. But
he's cute as a Dickens.
Cute, yeah. But that's
just cute. Aren't you just the cutest? Aren't you just the cutest? Don't force choke me though. Don't force choke me.
That was weird because I've seen he's like.
Because the thing was, the Mandalorian, you know, has been taking care of him. So he looks at the Mandalorian as like his parent.
Right.
And the Mandalorian is arm wrestling with this chick, and they are like concentrating fiercely, and he's a baby.
Yeah.
Even though he's 50 years old. This species apparently ages very slowly. And so he thinks that the person that he's arm wrestling with is trying to hurt the Mandalorian. So he starts force choking the bitch. And he's like, no, we're cool. And the baby is looking like, oh, okay. All right, but listen, if you need me, I got you.
Right here with this bottle.
I got you. I'm going to fuck that bitch up if you need me to.
That was cute, though.
So let me see what else is.
There's some other movies and stuff that's coming out too.
Yeah. Let's go to this list. So.
And like a couple things, like I just marked off a couple that I thought were interesting, like A Quiet Place Part 2. I don't know if anybody saw the first one. I never saw
the first one. Didn't really care for it.
Really, really good.
I mean, I didn't care. I didn't. I'm scary like that, you know. So I gotta be like in the right mood.
But you know what? That's all right. But because we were both sitting in King Kong, like.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway. Mm-hmm. So The Gentleman, which is like an action crime.
Scenes I don't really. Even though I like,
I'm interested.
I can't remember what his name is.
Matthew McConaughey.
I don't give a fuck about Matthew McConaughey. I am interested. I hate to say the hot Asian dude because I wish I knew his name. I think his name is Henry something. The Asian guy that's.
I know because he was in the Christmas movie as the lead character with
Last Christmas.
Yes,
but no. More importantly, he was the lead in Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, Crazy Rich Asians. Okay,
yes, that motherfucker is sexy.
Yeah, he is.
Hell.
Let's be clear, he is.
Let me tell you why you need to see that movie for all of the sexy shirtless men that are in it, and
the
that
wedding,
motherfucking wedding scene.
Listen,
I fagged out.
I was gonna say you must just bring all your fans to movie theater or whatever. You sit down, and when that wedding starts, you will be sitting there like clap, 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 clap.
I was sitting there like, oh.
It was amazing.
That was like the best and gayest wedding.
It was
scene.
so gay,
so gay.
Now I was a little underwhelmed because everybody had described it first before I got there. But when I think about it in hindsight, that was a lot.
Well, when you ain't know what it was about, and
that's
you
true.
Just saw it, I was just like. Bitch, is that water running down the center?
But it was amazing.
Did she is walking through?
It was
amazing. Like see us floating down the Ganges River? Come on, bitch. Come on.
It was amazing.
Listen, this puts springtime in Paris to shame.
I don't know if I put it to shame, though. But to house and ever. You got bitches hanging from the ceiling of hearts? I don't know.
Speaking of Tyler Perry, he admitted that he has no writer's room. And we're like, girl, you did not have to tell us that.
Everybody knew that. Because all your stories are the same.
All of the stories are the same.
Sorry.
And most particularly...
It's like you pick a Bible verse and then you write a story around that.
You need to bless your spirit with his sort of scandal type show that he had on BET. It was about... it was sort of like Scandal, like the White House drama.
Oh, you're talking about the Oval. Is it the Oval?
I think so. Oh, that was terrible. It will bless your spirit because you will just stay and kiki about how horrible it was. Well, I just feel like I'm snorting cocaine or something, but my nose is just running a little bit down.
I don't know what's going on with because that's happening too.
Yeah, but that's terrible. Anyway, so back to the list.
Birds of Prey is coming out with Harley Quinn.
See that, yes.
Bad Boys for Life. I want to see it just because.
No interest.
Black Widow, I'm interested in seeing as well.
I have zero interest in that.
Let's see.
No Time to Die. Definitely want to see that. It's James Bond with the black female James Bond.
Oh yes. And I forgot I missed one. The Tenet. That's with what's his face? What's the name's son? What's the name's son? Denzel Washington's son. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, Denzel Washington's son is playing in Tenet, so I want to see that. Underwater is also one I want to see because they showed that in a commercial.
That's scary.
But baby, when them lights come on, that monster's like that. Rah! I was like, okay.
Yeah,
but I
that's
want to see
too
that.
Scary for me. I might have to go see that with the slave because he loved to go see them scary movies and dragging me to see.
Listen, slave, when you come into town and he don't want to go to movies, listen, I will go along with y'all for the third party because I'm here for the scary movie. I'm just saying. So Gretel and Hansel.
I mean, I guess, but I feel like, but why though? I feel like it's first of all, it's Hansel and Gretel, so I don't understand why you felt the need.
Because the twist, it's scarier, and the twist is the focus is on Gretel as well. But again, we'll see how that goes.
Wonder Woman, of course. Now, the way we talked about Wonder Woman.
Listen, and Dune for some. So listen,
I do kind of want to see Dune.
When I tell you that my roommate is he makes every date that he ever has had watch Dune.
I feel so sorry for his dates.
He loves that. When I tell you, he's like, we have conversations, he's like, the bit of judgment powers and this, that, and the other, and I'm sitting there like, sure do.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, okay. But again, he loves the movie. So David Lynch, we'll see how that goes. And I don't know if he's going to be directing this or not, but he directed the first one.
I do kind of want to see
The Eternals. Yes. I want to see what that's all about.
Sonic the Hedgehog, we keep that determined.
So,
keep that
Mulan, the action adventure.
I do kind of want to see Mulan. Yes.
I kind of want to see what they did with that. I also want to see... So, Fantasy Island is actually...
Like a Boss. Out. Oh, that is that today the 10th?
Oh, that's Tiffany. That's right. I didn't
so that's this week. So
Like a Boss.
We can go see that this weekend.
Oh, we're talking about that.
Oh.
Like a Boss. Fantasy Island. That's another one I kind of want to see.
Is this like... Oh, it's a horror... Well,
yes.
I do... Sometimes I do. Because those scenarios could always go either way. So this is a horror adaptation.
Yes.
So I could see that because I feel like it still might be kind of funny. Because some of those scenarios...
I'm here for it. The Kingsman, I want to see that.
I
thought that was great.
This one doesn't even have Taron Egerton in it, though.
Oh, that's his name. Okay.
Because it's like before that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of want to check out the New Mutants just to kind of see where they're going to go with it.
West Side Story, I feel like I might go see that.
That was the first thing on my first color television when I turned television on. When I got this color television for Christmas, I turned it on at 3 o'clock in the morning. West Side Story was on. How gay was that? And I was in love with it. I was like...
I know, right?
But anyway. Halloween Kills.
Live in America. Oh, sorry.
Halloween Kills. Wow, I thought this story was over.
Yeah,
I thought it was over. And I'm like...
Now, I do want to see Bill and Ted Face the Music. Dude! Oh. No, that was Dude, Where's Your Car? But I do want to see that.
Okay, I mean, all right. Well,
Okay.
What else? Godzilla versus Kong, I definitely want to see.
Oh, of course.
Listen, because that was...
I don't get how they're going to make that happen because even though Kong is going to be like 50 feet, Godzilla's like 200 or 300 feet tall. So I feel like he just looked down at Kong like, what?
Was he though? Because in Skull Island, they was huge.
He was big, but he was still only like about 50 or 60 feet tall. He was breaking down
the mountains. Like he was taller than the mountains and some of the rock formations in that movie.
The rock formations, but not the mountain.
Well, okay, all right.
I could be wrong.
Well, we're gonna see how it's gonna work.
Yeah,
we're gonna see how it's gonna go. Another one.
No interest.
Another one I want to see is Bloodshot. This is about a soldier that's being reanimated with superpowers. I definitely want to check that out. It's Vin Diesel, which is fine, but I want to see how this is.
That means it's going to be probably terrible.
I just want to see how it is. Antebellum. So I'm trying to support.
I feel like I'm trying to support it, but I don't even really feel like I understand what it's about, and I'm just like
I don't either. But I want to see what Janelle Monáe does, and I kind of want to support.
Of course, I love everything that Janelle Monáe does, so I'll probably end up saying. I like
Jordan Peele. Thank you. And I kind of want to just those are my things that I want to see.
And Venom 2.
Oh, that's right, Venom 2. Yeah. So while I probably am the only person on the planet that disliked Venom because I disliked Venom because it was not. They made it a comedy, and it's not a comedy.
It had comedic elements, but I didn't think it was a comedy.
It was a fucking comedy. Venom is a fucking beast. He is just evil and nasty and needs to be destroyed.
Yeah, okay.
But they made him kind of lovable. But,
all right, well, we got 3 minutes, so you can wrap it up.
So listen, the BGKH Show streams live on Wednesdays on VoxWave.com, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern and 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific. Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. Search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic. Currently, we are able to I was going to say seduce. Well, that too. But host a live studio audience.
We can seduce a live studio audience.
And if you can't be at our audience, you can always call in and chat with us live on the air. And you can reach us at 240-719-2560. And call us at any particular point in time during the show. We'll love to hear from you.
Yes.
And if you want to get in touch with us, you can reach me on Twitter at EpicOnyx1. You can reach me on Instagram at IamEpicOnyx. And you can also reach me on Facebook if you search for Epic Onyx. Dominion, how can the people reach you?
At Dom Onyx on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/DomOnyx, and www.domonyx.com.
So, listen, it is a great way to start off our first episode of the new year. Happy New Year, happy 2020, and hopefully your new year will be as good as you would like it to be and give you everything that you actually need.
Yes, God.
So, listen, we want to close this out by saying thank you all for coming in and into our I don't say our studio. We are our studio.
It is our studio. At least
Coming into our studio for this hour. And listen, thank you all for coming. Good night. Bye.